Ahoy there, mateys, and welcome aboard Unconstitutional Awakening, episode 200. I totally had a clip that was supposed to play before here, but it's staring at me frozen for some reason, and this clip just won't appear. It was our little episode 200 show clip that if you've probably seen if you've been hanging out on Rumble waiting for us this evening, and over there where I shared it in a couple other places as a lead up for this, because, hey, we're here, episode 200. That's why I made a brand new opening for things. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I worked hard on that for a little while. As you know, I'm always messing around with that kind of stuff. You guys know I'm a copy paste meme expert, so that's how that kind of stuff works. But we've got a lot of good stuff planned for you guys. We apologize for being missing for a couple weeks, but we were planning this and we wanted to get everybody here into the whole mix because I needed everybody here to, be a part of the show. So welcome wherever you're watching, wherever you'll be listening when there's a replay. We thank you guys for sticking in for 200 episodes, man. Like this is pretty awesome. So we appreciate each and every one of you that are out there keeping an ear out or an eye out for all of our completely crazy nonsense. And of course, I'm not alone this evening. We have a pretty full house and I don't even know where to start, man. So I think I'm just going to go rolling the dice and we'll bring in one of my favorite buddies, of course, that you guys know that we made throughout the show, kind of later in that. He didn't start the game off, but man, he's become one of our top-notch best friends, man. And that would be the one and only Luis.
Hey.
Women want him and men want to be him.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
Good. Underneath all the insanity and chaos and continuous changes, two lawsuits, fun.
Oh, my lord. Well, I see New York is insane as it is. You've got a tyrant of a judge running around saying ridiculous things on top of, tyrants in charge. So between that and your rest of your personal life going on up there, I do worry about you, buddy, because New York is insane and you need to escape as quick as you can.
Yeah,
and you know who's going to back me up in that kind of statement? That would be somebody that we don't get to see that often, but he's finally here joining us tonight. Let us welcome in Bandit.
Oh, I know it's been a while, man. I know it's been a while. I'll be up and running. I'll be up and running full time here pretty soon.
No. I'm so glad that you were here to join us for the 200th episode,
Oh, yeah.
my friend.
I would miss this. I would miss this.
Well, it's been a trip. You've been along for a whole lot of it, especially in the early part. Like I appreciate you hanging in as long as you have. And
200.
200. Like I think that's a feat, man. Like I can't even doubt that.
Well,
right there.
I think we're already part of the 1%. All we have to do is actually get it in terms of audio ship, viewership frameworks to get it into the secondary 1%.
Now that AI is advanced, I bet we could translate our stuff into other languages and reload it to other pages and get other language pages.
Okay, so that would be the weird thing. It's like, in what country would we be most interesting? Would be the greatest of questions if it just translated into a whole new language.
Like I've thought about it. I've looked into it, and it's advancing. Like you're gonna send it straight to North Korea. Well, on that, I'm gonna have to allow in.
We're just gonna be in a watch list.
No. Hey, hold on a second. North Korea. I mean, the stuff that is smuggled into North Korea on like just thumb drives, anything westernized has to be smuggled in.
So
on top of translating, we would have to get it smuggled in. And just that would be a feat, You know
who I need to help us with this feat? That would be one Mr. Neptune.
The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
Can you?
Bandit, we gonna airdrop leaflets over North Korea?
Why? Yeah. Why? I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, you might as well go all out.
We're gonna from a plane. We're just gonna drop micro SD cards. 1,000 micro SD cards.
If we're gonna go that route, we might as well airdrop leaflets over North Sentinel Island.
Hey, it's all better than actually trying to approach them by boat.
Well,
yeah.
They'll just shoot your drone down. There's literally videos of the drones getting shot down.
by bow and arrow.
What a hell of a segue.
fellas, you're not gonna believe this, but this deserves a little bit of a crab rave because guess what? Ox is here. Ox, how are you doing this evening, buddy?
The band's back together.
The whole band's in the studio this evening. Like
It's episode 200. No way.
Man, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, it's been a minute since this has happened.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming.
How's California?
It's hell on earth, but you know what? I got a couple of trees to get some shade under, and I'll weather out the storm for now. And once I save up enough pennies, I can finally get the fuck out and live life on my terms.
Fantastic. No, this is exciting. I've been looking forward to this, and I can't believe we're still here 200 episodes later. And Luis, you've been a big part of a lot of them. Like I said, you weren't right there in the beginning when we planned it, but since we picked you up, you've been through some crazy conversations with us, and even seen the fallout in the early days with the mutiny from the geniuses of the other team and all that good stuff. So
I told
I
you.
appreciate you hanging out with us.
They might have been responsible for the whole the collapse of everybody else. I'm telling you.
They probably were. Everything they touched
I totally
collapsed.
believe they were.
Everything they touched collapsed. I don't doubt that. But
including CarMax stock market.
womp
Karma, karma is both a bitch and a beautiful thing.
So we're dropping SD cards over North Korea, but I mean that's in reality, like joking around, that's a real thing. Like I have been looking because AI has advanced, kind of like you were showing me prior to coming live, Luis, that there's a lot of even audio type AI things, and I've found where it's very easy to get my show's transcript, everything that's like written form. It's very easy to get the transcript, and I could get the transcript easily conveyed into another language.
All right, real quick. What's the name of the song you're using for the intro? Because I am gonna make a remix with Udio right now, to show you how powerful this stuff is. The Udio's become ridiculous.
Personally, I think we should stay away from. I mean, I think Central and South America would be a good place to start.
Sure.
Spanish.
So Spanish. Translate into Spanish. I mean, that'd be a big market. All my neighbors are Spanish.
That's a huge market.
Well, then you could translate it to Portuguese for Brazil.
Brazilian Portuguese.
Yes.
Because it's different to regular Portuguese. They're not the same language. People think it's the same language, but then
it's not.
They're explaining it. No, it's not. It's like Catalan in Spanish. I don't know if you guys know what Catalan is, but it's it's kind of French.
That's an overseas.
How would you feel about
Catalan is an overseas Spanish territory?
How would you feel about German or Russian?
No,
Portuguese people, isn't it?
No, stay away from Europe.
Stay away from Europe.
But I mean, not all of Europe is real. We've had this discussion before. I don't think all of it's.
I'm convinced the UK isn't real.
Exactly. That can't be a real place.
Well, I mean, look what happened today.
With the horses?
What happened today?
The bloody horses that broke loose. One of them was a white horse covered in blood, and it trampled 5 people.
Jesus.
What?
And no. Hold on. There's more.
Sacrifice.
There's more. I mean, and Big Ben was stuck at 9 o'clock, and it chimed 11 times and was stuck at 9 o'clock. They write dates. You know how the weirdos at the top are infatuated with numbers. And it was on because they write the date, day, month, year. It was 24/4/24. 9/11 with Big Ben, the bloody horse. Europe is, UK is,
Did Europe go full QAnon on us? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Brits, man.
So when reality gets weirder than QAnon, so are the QAnon the crazy ones? Because I've heard people always saying, "Oh, QAnon are white supremacists."
No.
Even my QAnon followers.
My beef with QAnon is that they took the Steve, what is it, the Steve Gutenberg, like the CIA dude, his files from like the late '80s,
Yeah.
and they completely warped them and turned
To
them
fit their
directly.
agenda.
They only fit against Democrats and people that lean Democratic and blah 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 blah, and completely ignore anytime you hand them facts that show, well, you know what, these other people were a part of it as well. Like,
Both parties are
No,
saying
you mentioned
it's
the
history.
corruption. You mentioned the corruption of Ronald Reagan and his involvement with the CIA in the 80s, and every fucking boomer wants to crucify you for it.
correct. Like, Reagan was a terrible person, and I hate the fact that he gets some kind of credit because he got shot or something. I don't, like,
Reagan destroyed our current compensation system. He is responsible for two
Yeah.
things. He destroyed the medical insurance system for the public. He destroyed that, and he destroyed compensations, wages.
There is a third thing.
Oh, of
The,
course.
the Hughes Amendment, by the way, that
boo,
little filler into the bill on the
boo,
1986
So
Firearms Owners Protection Act. Yeah, supposedly
boo.
to protect firearms owners, but no, let's simultaneously ban what amounts to little more than a coat hanger. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
fuck them, that's why.
That was
Yeah.
his thoughts.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, and he's right along up there. Like, they give all of these specific presidents like some kind of pass because of like one great thing, like FDR. Like, for some reason they love to just gobble his peen to the heavens and back because of things that he didn't really do, and all he did was
Yes.
make things awful.
Let's overlook the most as far as the nations on the winning side of the Second World War. Let's completely overlook the fact that there were some of the most heinous, unethical crimes against humanity committed on American soil during World War II. But yeah, okay, yeah, no, we'll give him a pass because he revitalized the economy and shit. But yeah, sure, and still continued to throttle us all the way leading up to World War II. But yeah, that's fine. All right, moving on.
I was 3 miles from the little White House today and was so tempted to just go leave a
Take a
steamer
dump
on his front door. Like,
take a steaming dump. Yeah.
I know he's not there anymore, and it's a tourist attraction, but it's about the principle of teaching a lesson to my nephew. Like, he needs to understand that FDR was not a great man. Like, and neither was Lincoln. He turned everybody into slaves with the 13th Amendment of the state. Like, he didn't get rid of slavery. He was like, it's okay as long as you're a prisoner of the state. We can use you on chicken farms and to build roads.
Prison industry. We could spend the whole 2 hours on that topic alone.
Legalize slavery.
But it is, and then you have people throughout history, like different presidents throughout history, wanting to have a stronger rule of law, and people writing things like the crime bill, and finding ways to profit off of keeping the jails full, private and public.
Yeah. Looking at you, commie mommy. I'm sure you'll never actually watch this, but Kamala Harris.
If Kamala Harris is watching us, we have a lot of problems ahead of us.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Well, I'll die. You know what? I'll die on that hill, and I'll shoulder
baby.
all
I mean,
of it, and I'll just say, go. Yeah, she can go fuck herself. So.
Really though, I mean, it could it get any worse than what it actually is right now? The current state of affairs.
Come on, it could
What
be
you
a lot
mean?
worse.
Come on.
It could be a hell of a lot worse. Are you joking?
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Send me to Iraq?
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you have to admit, it's a pretty scary circumstance
Throw,
when you're
throw my
living, when
fat
you're living in a
throw my
place.
fat ass on a tugboat bound for the Middle East. Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? I mean, we
It's
can't.
scary
I
when you
mean,
live in a place where like the number two in charge watching your videos would be a
hey,
scary thing. We don't have radical beliefs, man.
is she really in charge though?
No, but I'm saying in terms of like if you look at the way they teach kids in public schools, that's
Yeah,
number two, which is
True.
yeah.
not
Look,
real.
I'll say this much before I'm going to wrap up on this subject. The only way I would be actually scared right now is that Dick Cheney actually still had his mental faculties to be able to be watching this video right now. If he were still in power and I
I
might
think I would
actually
be.
be a little bit worried.
Why? So he could invite you on a
I
hunting
think I
trip?
would be more. I think I'd be more scared if I was hunting with him.
By the way, the guy did do something that I guess he actually
Imagine having so much power that you shoot one of your best friends and then he goes on the air and apologizes to you.
you.
Oh
Jesus.
man.
Can I
Oh
share
my
something
god.
real quick? You're gonna laugh all to segue out of this hilarious
Absolutely.
man. This is the music just created by UDO. Let me see if you can see it. Hopefully, I can play this.
Let's go.
Can you hear it?
I hear nothing.
Let me
Yeah.
see. Is there
It does it to me too.
What do I need to do? Let me
I
see.
think you have to click the share screen and also when you do the share, you have to toggle the share tab audio. You have to tab that on. So it should work.
Where is that tab?
So click the share button there in the middle if you're on the desktop app. So click share screen and then toggle the option for that.
I'll let you back up when
Oh,
it pops up.
Yeah.
it just mute. It's not showing me the audio option. Weird. Just showing me screen.
Elise, can you put it in our chat? I can probably share it. Probably work.
Let me see. Started sharing screen. All right.
Alright,
So,
try that.
all right. Cause I'm. No, nothing.
Nothing.
Cause y'all gonna die laughing when you hear it. But let me see if I can share it. So essentially, this was created by. I was clicking the wrong thing. This was created by just writing the name Constitutional Awakening, like literally the simple thing, and
Yeah.
then this is what came out. Let me send it to you guys here. That's
No
one.
doubt, this is where some of the unhinged
Oh my god, it's
read
gonna be so.
read the story
The
on
future
Instagram and TikTok.
the future is incredible. The art is unbelievable.
Is this about to be some beep boops or whatever?
No, I have no idea. I've not heard it
Alright.
yet. Like you are experiencing with me. I barely heard what the second one. You're gonna laugh. You're all gonna laugh. But let me generate it again because it's gonna be so good. Those were crazy. But yeah,
Did you
I generated some more. I can generate 600
uh,
per day. There we
did
go.
you get that Neptune?
Didn't
See
see
if
it
we can play
yet.
it.
Did you put it in the private chat?
I think he put
Or
it in the private. I think he put it in the group chat.
Group.
if it's in the group chat, let me see real quick. Let me go back to that.
I can. Where do you want it sent?
Wait, hang on, stand by. Oh, I see it. Hang on. Un momento.
You know.
Okay, 2 seconds. I need to do a quick transposition. One sec.
Okay. No worries.
Y'all keep going. I'll have this ready in a sec.
I mean, I've seen some really cool things. Like you've showed me some really cool things. I know that one guy that I think just about everybody follows, the Paranoid American. Like he does some really cool comic stuff with all of his AI
Oh
work
my
and stuff like
god.
that.
I have
Like
no idea how he can pump so much stuff out. I'm like actually impressed by just
right,
the sheer scale of how much comes out of his head. He must be exploding inside of his head, which is like kind of a gift and
absolutely.
a curse for these people. It's like Like there's a universe in your skull and you want to get it out and you just can't. And the output control mechanism, which is your mouth, is limited.
Hey, Luis, Truth Beckons. Is that the one?
What are you talking about?
The song Truth Beckons.
There's
the name of
two
it?
chains of no, Truth Beckons and Ascends in Insight. That's the random songs that came out of just putting in Unconstitutional Awakening podcast. That's all I put in.
Okay, stand by.
Stand by.
Un momento.
One is Ascend with Insight and Truth Beckons, which are fun. The next ones are Chain of Dialogue and Bonds of Truth.
All right.
Oh my god, this was even better. This is so good. This is so it's
I don't know
really
if I should
good
be
at
scared.
jingles. It's really good at jingles. Oh, you should be scared. But it's really bad at
Oh,
like there's a certain style
think
that I
I
feel it's not gonna be good at.
think I got it. Oh,
I love it when it's not me that's having technical difficulties. All right, I
think
got you.
I
I'm
got it.
turning you on. Neptune's got a screen share, and boom.
Okay, the wait will be worth
Dive
Can y'all hear that?
into truth
Yes.
most hidden and stark. If you're seeking wisdom mellow, your mind's about to bellow. We'll reveal the unseen mark. We'll guide you through the session, so your thoughts, they might ascend.
Huh.
Serious,
and that's
serious
completely AI?
Dream theater vibes on that one.
Yeah, you know that one, Dream Theater.
Yeah, that's a whole mood right there.
I did nothing. It's insane.
Yeah,
I can
that's
extend it.
Yeah,
You just put prompts in, huh?
Yeah, Luis, we're gonna have to talk after this, man, because that gives me ideas. Because I can't do beats, but I can write lyrics. Man,
Oh.
I
And you can write a whole lyrical framework, and then it'll pump it out.
I've seen,
that's
impressive.
No Agenda was using it, and they made some of their own jingles, and holy shit, you're like,
so
you can make commercial jingles with this stuff in seconds now.
Nice.
It's crazy.
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I've always been on the fence about it. Like, even since the beginning. You know me. Back when we first, like, the AI has come a long way since Luis came on to like episode 200. You can go back into episodes and look at things we were playing around with
AI
up today.
Yeah,
and like, I get it. I understand it's not an actual like Terminator style. It's more of an algorithm. It's not like it doesn't actually think, but like it is being fed by tons of people and is advancing a lot quicker than they expected to. And they are removing their boards of ethic people, which can't be a good idea.
I am all for accelerationism. Fuck it.
Accelerate.
What's the point of caution?
Because I don't want to be merged in. I don't want to be like
the
completely
Matrix is
merged.
100% not going to happen. So obviously that scenario won't exist.
Well,
so
it's not going to happen because it's already happened. I mean, like,
yeah.
that's
So
where we are.
we're not turning into Duracell AA batteries.
Yeah.
What if we are? What if we're a teeny verse? What if we're a teeny verse inside of a microverse?
We are in
inside
a
of
way.
a car battery for some dude that's jumping through galaxies with a portal gun.
We are in a way actually a AA battery, because what do you use batteries for? To power a larger machine. We are working to power the larger machine that is the U.S. government. So, I mean, in one way or another, we actually are.
I mean, yes, but also the whole planet is in itself a conscious being that exists in a verse we don't understand.
This planet is.
Where did they get the idea for ego? The living planet.
Yeah, but If this was ego, I think he would have ditched us a while ago.
Who says they aren't? They take their time.
Well, if you get into other comic lore, there could be a Titan hidden within the Earth somewhere.
What would they do?
Maybe Galactus. Please let it be Galactus.
One day he just decides to eat the Earth. I mean,
Please. It would give him indigestion.
Hey, I didn't ask to be put into the Metal Gear Solid universe. I just landed here. Like,
oh, that's right. We're inside of Metal Gear.
Everything has some bit of correlation to Metal Gear.
Hideo Kojima will be considered a prophet. He will be not considered a game designer, but a prophet. His game designs were just his medium. Instead of the written word, his medium was video game.
Well, at least the science that led to his game designs was pretty amazing. Unlike the science that is known publicly as cloud seeding, that seems to be giving everything a pretty damn rough time recently, especially in places
Dubai.
Especially in places like the Middle East.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And to do that.
It didn't take.
Has China done this?
But I bring this up.
48 hours for them to immediately blame climate change for what happened in Dubai. It didn't take 48 fucking hours for them to change the script.
But they literally published that week that they were seeding the clouds.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But see, that got us to talking, me and Bandit and Neptune here, about when.
Oh my God!
When the Russians did it.
I had to look at this. Holy shit! I couldn't have wrote something funnier than this if I tried.
So the Russians tried to do it. And of course, it went entirely wrong, and cement fell from the sky. And yes, this is a real thing.
It didn't go wrong. It went Russian.
Oh, it went so Russian. The Russian Air Force, during a mission to clear the skies of potentially rain-filled clouds, dropped a mixture of silver iodine, liquid nitrogen, and cement powder in an attempt to seed the clouds. And which is a form of climate modification, is a common practice in Russia.
Cement,
but
yes, part of it.
Yes, they just put. I don't know why they put cement in it. Like, I don't understand.
Never heard they put cement in it.
But
it makes the children tougher.
And what's funny about this article, what I think is hilarious, on a side note about this article, is that it says blatantly
and salt together, it's going to make cement in one way or another.
Well, is that blatant? It blatantly says that this is a common. It blatantly says that this is a common practice for Russia and China. America doesn't do this kind of thing, you guys. We don't spray our skies with stuff, and
except when the Mexican government tells the California government to stop putting those things in the air. If you like, just search.
States
Mexico
have
tells California to stop.
Tennessee joins one of I think 3 states now that have actually said no more spraying stuff in our air, on the law books.
Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Alabama.
We're tired of being sprayed.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this a sign of the shift? If they're starting to all
it's getting there.
Your psyop, turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Is that it? Is part of it that? And when they turn it off, people start to notice it more often?
Maybe.
I don't drink the water. I haven't been drinking the water for years. I'm much healthier now.
People like to say that our water's better, but I'll equivalent our public water to that water of Mexico. You're gonna probably get sick drinking it, so don't do that.
I tell you what, you want to know? You want to know how much I trust the U.S. government? I'd sooner drink fresh water out of Lake Lanier before I trust the U.S. government.
But
I love the videos when people are trying to get politicians to drink the water from Flint, Michigan. I think that's a pretty awesome thing.
Clips.
Those clips are pretty awesome.
Yeah, that tracks.
And they should if more of these people were actually treated like the scum sucking people that they. I mean, because come on, how can you go into a job as a congressperson with a definitely not millionaire pay, but all of a sudden you're worth millions of dollars? I mean, I know how you write these big spending bills to go to places like Ukraine and Israel, and stick it to my great great
Taiwan.
great great grandchildren.
60
I mean,
billion fucking
by the
dollars.
time your
Get the fuck
kids
outta
are
here.
grown up, if the United States still exists, the debt will be around 200 trillion.
Do you think they're going to try to
Yeah.
keep the bubble going, kicking down the road at that point?
I think they will for a little bit longer.
So so what I mean is, by that point, um, it'll probably not even be the dollar. It'll be something else. We'll just put an equivalency ratio for it. But yeah, I think the hyperinflation is gonna go.
The spending of the United States government is unquantifiable.
It is unquantifiable until you realize it's about 7 trillion a year. It's quantifiable 7 trillion beyond the current limit. So it's basically a
Yeah,
stacked framework. Every year it goes up 7 trillion per year more. So it's like, oh, the budget. It's how many trillions more? And then
it's
10
like,
trillion,
oh shit,
15
sorry,
trillion.
we ran over budget. Whoops, oopsie daisy.
So how far can you when what was it, Zimbabwe printed to 100 quadrillion, right? What, like, unquantifiable number. How did they do that? Like, how did they do that? Like, I want to understand how a country's inflation gets to that point. And who's still borrowing their money? At what point? The only reason that people borrow our money is because we are the global reserve currency of the world because of our weapons. It's because of our military supremacy. We know that.
Yeah. Man, I was thinking about that. So there were two currencies that stood out to me. I was just bored the other day. So the Egyptian ruble and the Venezuelan bolivar, their exchange rate is so insane. It's Jimmy, you're gonna have to pull this up. Pull up $1 US. So pull up the exchange rate site that
For
everybody uses.
Egyptian ruble.
Yeah, so it's $1 US versus Egyptian, like whatever they call it, the Egyptian
Pound
uh
47.85.
yeah.
Holy shit!
Egyptian
So
pound.
the exchange rate is pretty
Hang on.
crazy.
I'm about to pull. I'm pulling it up now.
Wow.
It's 47 Egyptian pounds to dollar.
Yeah,
And here
pretty
we go.
freaking crazy.
Dude, have you seen Venezuela's? It's like an
The bolivar is
look up
pretty.
Venezuelan Bolivar. It's
Yeah.
like insane.
But here's the thing: is I think the Egyptian pound actually beat the bolivar recently, though. I think there were a couple years there where it was
It's not
absolutely nuts.
36. Okay, so it's not 36, for example. I'm looking up Venezuelan Bolivar to dollar. It's not 36 Venezuelan Bolivares. It's like 36 billion.
Holy shit!
How they summarize it. Yeah, it's 36 billion. Not like
Yeah, this is
carry
this is
around.
this is
I'm
1923
People
Weimar
carry
Germany.
around. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The number, there it is. 3,000,006. There it is. Not 36. It's 3,600,000. Yep. To $1. So it was 1,000 bolivar to $1, like, not long ago.
So we're taking over Venezuela. You said.
If they tried anything with Guyana, the guns are
I'm
coming.
down. I'm on the side of Guyana all day.
So Guyana. So one, I've spoken to like two Guyanans,
Our
asking
our
their
our
opinion.
that's where our boy Jason.
First
That's
of
where
all, they're
his
all
family's
for
from.
it. Everybody's like, fuck yes. They're all fuck yes. They're all like,
I
our
got
country's
friends
not
from
gonna
there.
fuck it up. Look, it looks like their country's not gonna fuck it up. That's good. And they said immediately, U.S. government, you know, you have launch bases here. You launch your things from here. Would you want us to fall to socialism? I don't know. That was probably their jokes, like to the government. Send us troops. So we have people, the navies over there.
I love how they still use that as like a fear tactic when that's all the, that's all that most of them want. And they don't even realize it. They just want diet socialism. I'm not wrong.
No.
And then
You're
you got
not.
corporations that just want to be in charge, which is I'm pretty sure that has something to do with fascism.
Oh, we have to spend a whole ass segment
And then
concerning
politicians that think they're
Coca-Cola's
kings.
interests in South America is deserving of its own topic.
Pepsi once had the biggest military in the world.
No, it was the sixth.
One of the biggest militaries in the world.
I guess. True.
Nestle declared the water is not a human right.
No, that was CEO.
That somehow doesn't surprise me.
That was the
Disney
CEO.
is the second largest purchaser of explosives next to the U.S. military.
Crazy.
Yes. Hey, they finally lost their status as like their own entity within the state of Florida.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought that was overturned.
What?
A return?
So now they're back to being a country inside of our own
I
country.
thought that was overturned in the state of Florida.
Who thought it was a good idea to give Disney immunity?
Right.
We could spend a whole episode on Walt Disney.
Oh,
Yeah, we
he
definitely
wasn't who
totally
we
could.
think he was.
That guy was
No.
fucked up.
Yeah, he was.
Who was it? Give us a preview. Who was he?
Wait, pump the brakes a little bit because I remember that was actually one of the videos that got me lit up on TikTok because I did lean into some truthful facts about Walt Disney, and they do not like you talking about Walt Disney.
Tell us more.
Well, no, just yeah.
Wasn't he a painter?
Dude was Dude was dude was basically like a children's version of another guy with a funny mustache.
I thought he was a painter that got rejected from art school.
May as well have been
something like that.
Him and Henry Ford both funded another wannabe painter. Yeah, but yes, you're absolutely correct.
They had some of the same passions.
Yes, they did. They had many of the same passions.
They did.
Wow.
Walty
Jesus.
and the Mustache Man.
Yes.
And apparently Henry Ford.
And Ford too. Yeah, absolutely. Go too deep into the history of the Ford Motor Company, you're going to be sick to your stomach.
It looks a lot like the Volkswagen.
Yeah.
And the history that's going on there.
If I'm being honest, I honestly think Ferdinand Porsche probably got a lot of his early funding from Henry Ford. A lot of that research is what led me there.
Yes.
Yeah. Scary stuff, man.
It's crazy how they leave out these bits and pieces of history, which has always made me believe that things like that book that I've pined after, like that I like to bring attention to, really, I haven't pined after. I have a PDF copy. I've read it. But if you ever want a physical copy of it outside of the internet and printing it off yourself, like a real physical copy is like $5,000, and it's still like $5,000. I've checked it recently to be sure. There's a copy of it on Abe Books, and it's like $5,000, and it's things like that I'm like, it's not that they're hiding history; they make it inaccessible, and then they just don't tell you about these parts. They just tell you their part of the story, which they've been doing that for a really long fucking time.
Oh,
and in essence of them doing that for a really long fucking time, like, we don't know shit as a civilization, no matter what anybody wants to say, no matter how much internet access fingers, we are dumb as shit. Like, hands down, I'll admit it. But
Well, what's even worse than that is it's not just like what you think they hide from you in just recorded history, but how long we have existed on this planet versus how short of a time span actual recorded history is.
ooh, ooh, yeah.
That's even
I mean,
crazier.
like, and so, and you know, you read stories about them burning, you know, history in certain places, or you know, the Alexandria Library, big theory thing or whatever, and then all the stuff underneath the Vatican, and then you've got all of these other cultures that were literally just scorched earth, including the South. Like a lot of the South history that differs from like the history that you're told when you're in school seems to come out, you know, it seems to run to a dry end because, you know, what dude come down through here and basically committed genocide,
William
burning down
Tecumseh
everything.
Sherman.
Yeah, but you know, burning down everything across the land and women and children along with it. So like, how many times has that happened in other places throughout history? Think of that. You know what I mean? Like, so there's so much that is absolutely lost. And I don't look. Did anybody watch that dork Flint Dibble debate with Graham Hancock on Joe Rogan?
I
I know
did
you
Beside
not.
me.
mentioned it. Look,
Okay, I watched it, and this dude is 100% a paid shill and was trying to say that he didn't say that Graham Hancock is supporting racism and white supremacy and stuff. And like he tried, even though Joe Rogan and Jamie kept pulling up tweet after tweet of him saying exactly that, like they couldn't have a good conversation because dude just was like everything was just like, nope, that's not what that is. Nope, 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 nope. Like he didn't even have rebuttals. He was just like, nope. It was ridiculous. It was hilarious because I personally think if you watch it, you'll find Graham Hancock wins the conversation because he tries to have a conversation with the man, and the dude makes archaeology look like what I think it is too, just another one of those paid kind of areas where people aren't allowed to wander off of the idea.
so
Archaeologists are looking for another capitalist society because they think that's
no,
how it would have been. But what if it wasn't?
Well, look what
none
the
of none
Smithsonian
of this
does.
was. Smithsonian's done a lot of crimes. A
A
They
lot
lot.
of
show up to
crime.
every
But
major dig site and destroy shit.
now, why? So, this is my the big question is, what exactly about our past specifically are they hiding? Like,
The amount of times humanity has been reset.
Well, probably things like this.
I mean, beyond that,
I'm just saying.
that's a good
Like,
one. But beyond that, that was yesterday.
and
That was literally
Um,
yesterday.
and thought,
What is
yes, like
time?
absolutely,
What is
they're
time? That was yesterday.
they're trying to shape history to better benefit the people in charge.
absolutely.
But what is the purpose of these edits? What truth are we not witness to because of our lack of awareness of that narrative we lost through time?
I just want to know why they're all diddling kids.
They're selling them to the aliens as payment. Remember the pale horse story? Uh,
Sure,
yeah.
but like,
But yeah, it's we're selling the kids. Like
but
we
okay,
were having the thoughts the other day.
but
Are they
it's
just selling the kids? All the
so
kidnappings that happen globally.
so
It's not the
so
human
we have
slave market. It's the alien slave
so
market.
we have so we have so we have Epstein Island. We have that dude from Nickelodeon that's definitely done a lot of things. And then we have Diddy and all of that nonsense, and not to mention all the other little things that go on and blah 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 blah. But like, they're terrified of lists getting out. You know what I'm saying? And people that are caught on camera doing things, this, that, and the other. And we've even got the thing with Bernie Sanders here recently. Apparently, somebody's come out that he was caught on camera doing diddling kids too. But like, we all know they do it clearly. Like, there's too many signs about it, and that's the thing. Like, what is it when you get that rich and powerful? Is that all that's left? Is kidnapping and diddling kids? Like, my brain can't wrap around it. And so between that and all of this interesting history, like I like some of the Tartaria stuff, but what if Tartaria is the psyop to something even bigger? You know what I'm saying? Like even bigger than the idea of Tartaria, and like you just said a minute ago, Bandit, the idea of there being literal multiple like worldly resets, like things that are out of our hands that come as like astrological consequences or something, whether it be like a meteor or something like that. Like there's clear evidence of things in like the Dryas impact theory and stuff where like 12,900 years ago or so a big ass comet blew up in the atmosphere, and that was a pretty good time that it could have reset history, and a giant flood happened that's recorded in all religions and historical texts and stuff like that, and the seawaters rose higher and society had to start over as hunter-gatherers and people with stone and shit like that. How many times has that happened? And how many times is it going to happen? That's all I want to know. Like, is it going to keep going? I got a feeling it's going to keep going. I think like Casey has said in the past, like, it's just going to stop. It's just going to keep going forever. Like, no matter how many times, it's just going to keep going. And that's why we need to worry about the moment and not the fact that psychopaths are running around with nuclear devices threatening to throw them at each other. No? Okay, I'll shut up. Somebody else talk.
I'm inclined to agree with you though. So I mean, there's I don't know. Is this the time that we can segue into the big talking point of the night, Jimmy? Because
what did you discover?
I've discovered many things, and a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have been able to connect the dots on without Jimmy's help.
My God,
it's been
that
an interesting. It's been an interesting couple of weeks with where we're going, especially as we talked about shitting on the CIA at the beginning of this whole endeavor.
I mean,
so
run it,
Jimmy. You have the talking points. Bandit, you have yours. You guys just okay with me just taking off with it?
Yeah, run, go. I'm gonna play with my soundboard. You know this.
So talking about government corruption and seriously seems to be it almost feels like a bottomless budget for what the US can get away with.
It's infinite and vast. And
I mean, like the video that showed the congressman saying that the U.S. Navy or Air Force is paying $100,000 for a bag of ball bearings.
Jackpot!
How much was
It's the most made up shit in the entire world.
Oh man, and I'll say this much is, the Navy and the Air Force, they get a lot of money. They get a lot of money. So we gotta go back for a second. But this is all going to make sense here shortly. But I want to just open this up by saying that I am of the opinion, and this probably has larger implications beyond just what I'm going to be talking about. Saudi Arabia is probably funding 90% of the U.S. Military industrial complex right now.
FBI, open up! What are you saying as far as like purchases made?
Purchases made, transactions, and probably standing infrastructure that we have.
Wait, but what about NATO? Isn't NATO also making a lot of purchases? And actually, what the NATO expansion is?
Yeah, Poland is Poland's purchases just recently have become,
Yeah,
and we're talking,
and the fact that we can't even afford health care in this
yeah,
goddamn country. Yeah, we can't afford health care in this
These
fucking
countries
country.
get
But
full coverage.
but somehow we can imagine for 5 seconds that, oh yeah, we'll send you $90 billion. The fuck out of my face with that shit. Yeah,
Right.
just razz my ass.
but in the whole of
We all know
things,
it's because they don't care.
when
All right.
we are talking about just military equipment and expenses, $90 billion is just a drop in the pot.
It's a drop in the bucket.
Yes,
Yeah,
And
because
I wish that I had a better understanding of how much we're actually investing into specifically the drone programs right now. So I'll go ahead and drop off the ledge, and let's start with that, because this is what I
Let me
really
only
want
tell
to do.
you that I have seen and I have heard of American tech. American tech is so there was a recent event where this helicopter, the police helicopter, couldn't catch up to this drone. Like they ran out of fuel. They
okay,
couldn't catch up with this drone.
all right.
And the point is that drone is American made.
Now,
the
now
police helicopters are slow, though. They're only Bells. Those are
to
slow
No,
helicopters.
but it
to
outran it,
to
meaning it
Yeah,
was
interject
flying a
that's
higher
easy.
distance. It's a drone though.
to
Yeah,
interject. Okay, so in a roundabout way, this whole entire thing, to the point of where it is right now that Neptune wanted to talk about it, divulged from me seeing something from an undisclosed source. I'm not going to out him, but like, if he watches cool, he's going to figure it out. Like, but I seen something from an undisclosed course, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. Let me go look up this company, because this person is in Saudi Arabia. And I started looking up this company, and I started digging around, and I was like, huh, they seem to work with a lot of interesting things. And I was like, huh, they're getting they're celebrating getting these giant military contracts out, like, on their website. And I was like, what's super interesting is that their main office is near DC. Then they have another office in Saudi, and then the rest of their office is scattered around on multiple military bases, including some down here with me, because it seems to be a lot of Air Force driven type stuff and drone type stuff, and just aerial type stuff in general. And it got me wondering about them. While I was clicking around on their page, it unintentionally brought me back to Halliburton, which got me going, huh? Why did I end up in Halliburton? So of course I got to digging around Neptune as well, and it basically turned out that this was like a subsidy, like a little. They're getting money through, like, Halliburton, basically, to work on this drone program, and so it clicked some
But
things in Neptune's head.
this is how you get banned. I get it.
All
Yes.
right.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, we're talking about it now, so
Is
I'll,
this
I'll
how you got banned the first time? That you're just like, whoops, I'm gonna go in
well,
the direction
we're
the government's gonna be like,
uh,
what are you doing?
we are now committed. So here's where we're at. So I'll go ahead and jump in at this point. So you do have to understand that uh, UAVs and drones, they they have a common lineage with a lot of the work that was done during the Second World War. Uh, you know, high altitude, fast moving recon planes. That was a thing. That's pretty much that's kind of the reality of the dick swinging contest, as it were, of the Cold War. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we came to a point in the mid 50s where we needed something on our side, and I'm speaking as we, as in I'm talking like I'm the CIA, that we needed a platform that could, move quickly over the comm block nations, collect information, collect intel, and avoid, or at the very least be able to, if they were captured by radar signature, be able to get away. So for that to be able to happen, there was a lot of movement in the CIA to be able to build out something that would work for this. What wound up happening, and kind of where Jimmy and myself figured out that this power struggle has never really ended, came up in the fact that the CIA had built out a shell company in the Middle East in the 50s. And the reality of that is that, so back during those times, there was pretty much a hard no. You were not going to, if you were an American, they were not going to sell you anything directly. But so this shell company would be able to facilitate, purchasing. In this case, it was titanium, and a lot of that had to do with the R&D programs that were related with the A12 and the YF12 projects. So we kind of came to that as a and from what we've learned is that the CIA needed those raw materials to be able to even build these spy planes in the first place.
Correct.
But
they needed raw materials and a whole lot of
imagination.
Yeah, but the thing that makes drones so fucking terrifying is that same technology was used to build drones that were used during the Vietnam conflict, and it used a lot of the same, like the project design features and a lot of that technology.
Did you say there were drones in the Vietnam era?
Yeah. Hey, can we please bring up my favorite drone of all time?
What?
All right.
The nuclear loitering drone.
Oh Christ!
I can
mention it. Jimmy, while I am pulling up some information on the nuke drone, which is currently, again, that project is off the table because
it spread radiation. It was just it was a nuclear weapon that loitered and just spread radiation.
The U.S. was told if they tried to restart this project, they'd be in violation of like 100 international laws, and so that one's still on the table. But but it's still objectively funny. But regardless of that, Luis, for awareness, and it's kind of tied back into this other thing we were talking about is so.
For the layman's and to cram it down, basically what we're getting at is the Cold War never stopped, ladies and gentlemen. It's been going on nonstop since it started.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And it's even funny today with China actually finally developing a drone based off of one that got shot down during Vietnam that they have their hands on right now.
Oh, it's wicked looking too.
Yeah. So, but it's 60-year-old technology, and they're still using it right now.
The drone that the Chinese are copying is from what time?
Vietnam.
They unveiled some new stuff though.
How advanced is the advanced stuff we don't know about?
Yeah,
yes.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
Think about the F-117. Look at how old the F-117 is. Look how old the Blackbird and U-2 are.
So let me ask. Oh wait. Okay, Metal Gear Solid. Remember when they talk about the DoD? They talk about budgets. They talk about the numbers. They talk about how the Black Pentagon budget is 120 billion. Okay.
The Black budget.
Go back in time. Go back in time. This is the 1990s.
Yeah.
Multiply that. How did Hideo Kojima know about the black budgets? Is in the equation for it, which is about give or take 10% of the budget.
It's easy to assume.
What if Lockheed, when they do the $64,000 bag of bushings,
$100,000,
$100,000 for what is it? A $10 bag of bushings?
Yeah. About $100.
And it's probably not even the good bushings either. They're probably garbage.
They're
Yeah.
aircraft
say-
grade, so about $50
So-
probably.
So let's put it from that perspective. So that means they could be hiding transactions through those.
I mean, do you really
So,
think
how do
we
you
believe
get
them when
that
they say they spend $10,000 on a hammer?
exactly?
They're
So
not
if you get
hiding shit.
So I'll give you an example. In New York, they're like, wait, a nurse is getting $750 an hour. This driver is getting $400 an hour, and they're like, no, they're not. The employees are not getting this money. So I've seen this. I've literally seen New York nonprofits like take all the money and supposedly say like they're giving it to the employees. I'm like, ha ha ha, sure, buddy.
Yeah. So there's a lot to be said about where we're at currently with drone research. But it's only it's really only like moving at a kind of like a hyper accelerated rate.
You ever played Modern Warfare? My friend was telling me that we can do that. The whole infrared multi-floor analysis of a building and the occupants inside by floor, and that some key.
FLIR's been a thing for the last 30 years. Bandit knows this. That's a thing.
So that's a thing, but it feels like it's fiction when you look at it.
It feels like it's fiction, but I know Bandit's
use it?
probably gonna chime in right now. Yeah, that's been a thing for the last 30 years. FLIR will know your exact location. If somebody can get physical eyes on where you're at and you're a target, bye. You're done.
Interesting.
Have a nice day. Bandit, any comment on that? Did I miss anything?
Classified. It's so classified he can't even speak a word.
Bruh.
That hurt. He was just laughing too hard to
Bandit's like,
respond.
No.
But there is something I'd like to say concerning kind of where we're at with what we've learned in the last 20 years over the and a lot of this stuff has only come to light in the aspect of the Iraq War and OIF and OIF2, which is Enduring Freedom, which is basically we're at a point that we're now learning how much deference that the CIA proper they get so much leeway with what they're doing. So there are so many programs, so many projects that they've been working on. And it kind of ties back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the call is artificial intelligence, which is, something that the CIA has been looking at since even before 9/11.
well, yeah, that's why they released it on us to help advance it really quick.
I mean, it worked as a proof of concept. Yeah, I guess so. Because I mean, you'll still find every once in a while you'll find records of what the CIA was interested in with stealth UAVs.
Turning cats into drones and sending them to Russia to try to spy on other Russians.
Well, no, that was Russia. Russia was doing that. We
No, that
didn't.
was
Russia
America.
did that.
That was the CIA.
I thought that was the Russians that did that first.
They might have done it first.
The only reason the CIA has any interest in AI is because if you haven't noticed, like, companies are using AI now to faster sort through things online. The only reason the CIA has any interest in it is because it allows them to get their fingers in more things.
Absolutely. But the thing that got me about the programs, specifically what Jimmy and I were talking about when we kind of made the realization that there's a larger hand at play, is the CIA to this day they're still using the MQ9s. They're still using the MQ9 Reapers for a lot of their, covert activities. So there's obviously an interest in replacing that technology with something new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a large body of evidence, which I wish I still had, because I wish I had saved this information. It looks like it's been mostly removed from the public domain at this point. The CIA used to call it Dark Star.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dark Star program itself is basically, they wanted a high altitude autonomous weapons platform, which basically we send it off into enemy airspace. We'll let it make tactical weapons decisions based off of its own calculations.
Skynet called, and it wants its drone back.
And the system initiative thing, what's true autonomy, is what scares the fucking hell out of me in the first place. That was the original stated end goal of Dark Star. But from what I have gathered, is that it would love to still continue with this program. And Jimmy, based on your investigation, that's kind of where I wanted to lean into you a little bit. Is obviously Saudi Arabia has been kind of a staging ground for this since the Cold War.
Hey, can I say one thing real quick before I sort of have to wrap it up for me? But if I'm not mistaken, I did read some articles or hear a couple of news stories that those who should not be named in their current conflict right now let loose some autonomous weapons systems that were making their own decisions.
Everybody okay?
The audio.
What happened?
I know what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking about.
I love the audio reverb on that. That was so perfect. Why are we all reverbing? Neptune, is that something open on yours?
Weird.
I unmuted.
Yep.
I have no idea what happened. It did it earlier too when Luis popped on.
Yep. All good here.
Good over here.
Good here.
All right, I'm gonna turn my mic off.
It's our agent listening.
Yeah. Bandit, I think I caught most of that though.
So what's the name of our agent?
I call him Larry.
What's their backstory? Because they keep hearing us. I keep hearing it reverb. Were you hearing it too?
Yeah, I think we all hear it. I don't.
It's all right. Okay. So again, what's their backstory? Where do you think they're from?
I don't really have one. I don't have an idea of one. This is. I don't know. That's a different problem than we usually have, I guess. But the show must go on. I really wish I knew which one it was, because I know it's not me. I've already muted and come out. So.
Mute everyone.
It's somebody. Oops, I didn't mean to do that to Casey. Mute. No. Not Casey. Not Luis. It is Luis. It's Luis. Unmuted Luis.
I gotta cut out, guys.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. It sucks that once again you're sliding out before we can. Nope, not Luis.
It's about that time for me as well, guys. I'm sorry, I gotta go.
It's probably me. I'm on my phone.
No, I muted you. And let's see.
All right, I gotta go, you guys.
All right. Well, I guess you two get to slide out without having to play Pirates Against Humanity. That sort of
Next time.
sucks. Yeah, it's all right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on for sure. Thank you so much for joining us
Absolutely.
for the 200th episode.
Adios, dudes.
I'll catch you guys later in the chat.
Fantastic. Oh, so, yeah. So that seems to be the problem gone now. I'm not sure which one of the other two it was, but I totally think it was one of the other two.
Yep.
And not the three that are remaining. But no. And what you were getting at, Neptune, before everything went chaos, is that it seems Saudi seems to be the foothill that all of this stuff was going on at.
I am standing on that. And let me just go ahead and say why. There's a lot of moving parts here. Obviously, we have had a standing business relationship with Saudi Arabia since the 50s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We have had a standing business relationship with Saudi Arabia since the end of the Second World War. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm sure there are a lot of questions over who is the wealthiest person in the world. To this day, I still believe that as far as a family is concerned, I believe 100% wholeheartedly that the Saudi family, the Saudi dynasty, is the wealthiest family on earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of reasons for that. Obviously, there's a lot of the French families, the French Jewish families. There's a lot of reasons to justify that, but our very long-standing business relationship with the Saudi royal dynasty tells me that I don't think anyone else would be able to stand up what we have invested.
Are you telling me? Are you telling me that the big guy couldn't handle it? I mean, look how great he is at wording things.
By the way, the same stable genius has said the biggest problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports.
You know, I mean, such a strong leader here to send us in the right direction. Like, isn't it so great that these guys
live in a society?
Yeah, that we live in a society. Like, it's just wow. I don't know, and I think there was something there, and I do encourage other folks to go dig around yourself too, like for sure, because everybody talks about how there was all these programs that were outed in like the 70s and stuff that the CIA was doing in the 50s and 60s, and then of course again later down the road same thing comes up.
But that's really kind of where before we actually punch this off for this evening, a lot of where we got because of funding that we received in the 60s from the Saudis is what propped up the like the SR-71 and the A-12 programs before that. Like, I feel as though, based off of what I understand now, that those programs never would have been possible because we didn't have the funds to finance that. Even 20 years after the war, that was not something that the U.S. was going to be able to. We weren't going to be able to shoulder the burden of that, at least by ourselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
My thing is in the reality of where we're going with drones, especially even to this day, is that there is a ethical question over what and how drones are used.
Absolutely.
Like drone autonomy. yeah, I guess is the right question, because I'm thinking to the Libyan Civil War, like, and that's only been 4 years ago. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They used uh autonomous drones in that conflict. Like, they used autonomous drones without human interaction.
It's pretty scary.
It's fucking scary as hell. Yeah, I
Like,
agree. And the thought of what you have mentioned with the development of a new drone program scares the hell out of me.
yeah, yeah. That
Of what that
on
means.
that website directly, they were talking about like a 400. What was it, like a $400 billion, $400 million? I don't want to misquote it entirely, but I don't actually have it pulled up. But contract with the U.S. government, and then like when you get to looking at what they make, it all seems to be all of these drone things, and like that's what even started me even
The
looking around with them, because
and
there
that
was just
and
curiosity to
but
that
it,
from my
it,
perspective.
but it holds weight that
Right.
the entirety of our drone program, and probably some of the Air Force to a lesser degree, Saudi Arabia has funded that. Like,
Right.
we're like, what the, it begs a larger question. Why the hell are we as taxpayers, why the fuck are we paying in this much in taxation just for the Middle East to help fund all this bullshit that's going on in the Middle East? It makes no sense.
I mean, I don't recall anywhere in our history books them talking about the founding fathers worried about the Ottoman Empire. I was pretty sure that we were all just worried about what was going on here. And I think
Yeah.
that's a big thing, is that we need to be more concerned with what's going on here and less concerned about who supports Israel and who don't, and who's like none of that matters, bro. Like, all of that stuff's going on over there, and we should really stop sending them money that we don't have.
Profit.
Like,
It's all
It's
about the
all fucking profit, profit, profit.
sure,
Yep.
but
There's
not
no
for us.
No, I mean,
Profit for them, not
It's
for
just us footing the bill.
profit for thee, not for me. Yeah, there we go.
so okay. Let's hypothetically make it that we were also sharing in the profit. To what degree would they need to share for you to not care?
What do you mean?
If the system,
Oh, I don't have a price. We've been over this before. I don't have a price. That's a terrible system doing terrible things and is only there to kill people. I don't support it. Just like, honestly, like I don't support the idea of nuclear weapons. I know that's crazy, but like I don't.
that's
Like that
fine.
that's
It's an
the end
acceptable
that's the end of
uh,
humanity when you start slinging stuff like
should
that.
we have it? I also agree to a point that we shouldn't really wield these
And
technically alternative.
and I
We have
hate the argument.
alternatives.
I
We will
hate the
need them.
argument. I hate the argument. Well, if we wouldn't have done it first to Hiroshima and stuff, like,
They did have an actual bomb though. They had a
again, I
bomb.
hate the argument. I like
Japan had a nuclear weapon. They
Sure, we've
detonated
discussed
it
that.
a week before in Korea, and it's hard to find, but it's there. And
Sure,
if you want to talk about, and we should one day like all try to find as much as I can about that. I have that one of the books I have to finish, but yeah, the hidden history of Japan and a nuclear weapon. Like, people have no
absolutely,
idea.
absolutely. But like, I don't see how more genocide stops genocide.
So that's an important one. In the history books, it should write that Japan was developing a nuclear weapon. Why is that not
Absolutely,
showing up in the history books? It's
absolutely, it
just
should be in there.
Yeah. History books should also talk a little bit more about Unit 731, but they don't. So
well,
here we are. Here we are.
or that was how there was a genocide in Ukraine before the genocide in Poland and Germany and all this other stuff.
Careful, Luis. You might get yourself canceled for bringing that one up.
16 million people. It's not a blip in the
I'm
radar.
I'm not arguing with
These
you.
poor souls.
I know you're right. I know of the Red Holocaust, but don't don't bring that
that's
up in the
another term
public
for
space.
it. Yeah, what was
Yeah.
the name of those documentaries called? Europa?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, the Red
Watch them at
Holocaust.
your own.
Yeah, I know it
Watch them
well.
at their own peril. Is the only thing I'll say about those.
It's a very spicy content. Yes.
It's spicy, but if you listen to it from you don't have to
If
accept
you can
everything.
look at
It's
it objectively,
I mean,
yeah,
it does exist out there. What the very first thing I ever did as a podcast, I was invited to a show that I did for almost 2 years called Makes You Think, and that was the subject matter that we did. We spent an hour, almost 2 hours, talking specifically about Unit 731 because the group that originally ran Makes You Think didn't know anything about it, didn't know that it existed, and I brought up all of it and I brought it all to the table, and I'm
yeah.
pretty
You
sure that's
want
what got Josh Reed kicked
you
off of Twitch.
you
But
want to
like,
know how
I'm
Americans
sorry.
yeah, you want to know how Americans found out that we're 70% water weight? Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Go look into that. You'll be
Wait,
absolutely fucking mortified.
what? There was an interesting way we found our water. Wait.
It's not.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
it
okay. Can I
it
guess? The solving a solution.
uh-huh. Yeah. 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 That's it. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Another last tidbits of human creativity. Those cards.
Oh
right.
man.
Oh, it's so you're saying you guys are ready for that time of the evening because
Uh
we've always got it sent, and I'm very sad that the other two, and I'm gonna call y'all out. I hope you guys are tuning in since you left, or at least a listen later, for dipping on us when we're about to get to one of everybody's favorite part of the night, Pirates Against Humanity. I of course dished you guys out your cards earlier in the conversation while everybody was distracted and not paying attention as you all came into the room, and I knew who was going to be here. So again, I am sad that the other two dipped out because I was kind of hoping that they were going to have a fun evening since they were actually here tonight and we're going to stick around for the game, but it's okay. You guys have your cards, and of course, I'll draw along too, since we are only the three of us, just to make it fun. Of course, you folks out there that are watching, they're over there on YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, and Twitch, we play a live version of Cards Against Humanity, redubbed Pirates Against Humanity. If you're familiar with the game, you know how insane that it can get, and it just gets just as raw and fun here as it does, even if you're playing at home. So, and those of you folks at home that are listening, I totally advise you to come watch an episode every now and then instead of listening to the replay. We have a good time, and I love to interact with you folks in the chat when you're live, if I can see the chat. And so y'all make sure y'all bring in some stuff, man. I'm always glad to call folks out, like Isaiah. I know he's always out there joining along, and anybody else that is just here this evening. We thank you, of course, as normal. So I'm going to draw our first card tonight. Ooh, and it's a long card. I guess we can start out with a long card for the evening. This is a long card. I'm assuming this is probably a song. Oh, it is a song. I feel embarrassed for saying that. It's totally lyrics from a rap song from our generation, Neptune. So it's the lyrics to "Lose Yourself" by Eminem, but it picks up at the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance for blank.
inhaling a bird mid yawn.
Luis. While Luis is going, I will say, bleeding through another jumbo tampon. Luis. Hey, man. You there? I know you're there. You're just not here.
I'm
I'm-
here reading.
Oh. Oh.
Getting bukkakied by Spider-Man, by 20 Spider-Man.
Jesus Christ. I guess you only get one chance to get bukkakied by 20 Spider-Men, so I guess make it count. We're going to give that one to Luis. First look, Nike drops a hot new sneaker designed exclusively for blank.
Affirmative action.
Run that one back.
First look, Nike drops a hot new sneaker designed exclusively for tongue fucking them toes.
Bro, I am literally send me that text. I'm gonna make a prompt out of that one. I'm gonna make some shoes that I called affirmative action, baby. I'm gonna make them sickest designer shoes you can imagine. They're gonna be
Run
called
it. Run it.
affirmative action.
Run it. Run it
One more
back
time.
one more time.
First look, Nike drops a hot new sneaker designed exclusively for blank.
Shitting out part of a turd, sucking it back in, and shitting it back out over and over. So you're basically fucking yourself with your own shit.
That went south really quick. Wow. I'm going to give you that one just because you actually said that card. Few remember Beethoven's lesser-known symphony, Ode to blank.
A dangerous new type of onion.
Slut shaming.
To watching someone fuck my wife.
Oh, damn. Gonna give that one to Luis, because that's don't do that, buddy. Oh, here we go. This one seems like this could be a friendly one. Join our peaceful community. We eat grapes, we live in tents, and we enjoy blank together.
Having 6 weeks left to live.
Deteriorating mental health.
The terrible computer virus that put all this incest porn on your laptop.
God.
Oh, well, since nobody else showed up tonight, I did send you guys a handful of cards. I'll throw one more out there.
Let's
if you guys
just
are up
keep
for
running them because I've got a few left to use.
Hey, Randy, what's going on? Randy, nothing, man, just blank.
Glittering my pubes.
Fair. Luis?
Smoking a joint, eating some cat food, and watching Law and Order SVU.
A big mouth Billy Bass that just screams.
That's 2 PG.
2 PG? Okay, hang on. 9/11, but with monkeys. No?
What's
Donkey
the blank?
Kong?
No. I'm saying, like, he said that my other card was 2 PG, so I pulled a second one. That was my answer. Nothing. Just 9/11, but with monkeys. Black card. I only saw my father cry twice. Once after mom died, and once after blank.
Having 6 weeks left to live.
You already used that one.
Aw. You did.
Did I?
You did.
Yep.
Okay. Thy anus.
All y'all motherfuckers. What?
All y'all motherfuckers. Just random ass cards.
All right, I've got 3 left at this point.
3 left. I say we're gonna do one more card, and then we're gonna start working our way around the table for final thoughts and stuff. Let's make it a good one though. Let's go from the bottom of the deck, just cause. Why not? Mom, look at me. I'm blank.
Repeat that, Jimmy.
Mom, look at me. I'm blank.
Wearing a condom the proper way around the balls and penis.
Oh, that's good. A dentist named Fun Boy.
Oh my lord.
Fun boy.
My.
Oh yes.
See this?
That's your
Take
yes
it.
queen.
Mom, look at me. I'm taking forever to come.
And that's your exit for the show. See you later. That's literally
No, no, you know I've got a good
that's your
one. I've
point.
actually got a good joke planned for tonight. I think it's going to make you guys really laugh. I actually can't wait until we get there. But like before we get there, again, I can't thank you two especially enough here recently for being on board. Especially now that we're at the 200th episode mark. I know we have our little specials that you guys are always welcome to go back and check out where we went in depth into some of this kind of stuff actually that we got a little bit into tonight, like in its early stages. And in reality, we could tie this to some of the stuff that we talked about in those other operations and such. Because it's all about sharing some good information. And that's what we were trying to do out here. And it's always good to laugh and just have some nonsense. And that's why we keep showing up to do this for you guys, because why not be ridiculous while we talk about the ongoings in the world? You know, Clown World itself can't get any more clowny than it's already clowned. So why not laugh? Right?
It can get crazier. It's gonna get crazier,
It
Jim.
can
It's
get
gonna get so
crazier.
crazy
But
that when reality inverts itself in on itself, then what?
but hey, I'm up for it, I guess. I would we've been through a lot in 200 episodes. Think about
Will that flag look different because of Mandela effect to the point that that flag starts to change and
my
you
flag
never
will
change
change.
it and you
And
never
I'll never
change it?
change it. We'll have to watch. Maybe it will.
If you imagine our fucking around with the Large Hadron Collider creates an area that's fracturing, so everything close to where particle accelerators are functioning is fracturing, slowly fracturing reality. It is a localized event because of our location, so it doesn't, like the rest of the universe doesn't fracture, but we fracture. What happens when we fracture time and space, Jim? What do you think happens?
I don't know what happens.
Exactly. Nobody does. That's why they do it, though. I get it. I completely get it. I would love to do it if I had the ability to do it. I would love to crash particles as fast as I can in a gigantic machine and see what the fuck happens. Must be exciting.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that Across the Spider Verse answered that question.
Right. You imagine they have opened portals?
That's the only thing that can explain the Mandela effect and the fact that I'm convinced that I'm not from this specific
I mean, you told me this story.
place. Well, I mean, no, not just that, but like all of us, we've all had our conversation where we've all like
Almost died.
we've all died, like we all should be dead, and yet here we are.
Isn't that interesting that I think it was there's been a couple of stories that play around with that idea that, you know, you're you're that moment of death, but you don't but you continue. But you passed it.
Hmm. It's definitely something to wonder about. I mean, and that's what this is about, just to ask questions and to make you wonder. And you guys that are just now, if you're just early, this is the first time you're tuning in, man. There's 200 plus other episodes to go back and check out. We've had lots of great guests. We've had lots of great conversations. Heck, we've had conversations with ourselves that are just off the wall and really make you think at the end of the day. And I think that's the point of it. Like it's thinking outside the box, especially the little box that we're always stuck in viewing this world from. Like there's there's things out there and we can't explain them, but it's fun to talk with other people and figure out how to explain them. Because if there was more discourse and less typey, I think we'd all be in a lot
You
better
mean the
place.
extra dimensional beings that coming from the ocean? Those things?
Well, that's a fact. Like those ships come from the water.
All right. So, quick question on that. That guy we spoke to that spoke about Mount Shasta. What if everything he said was true?
What if everything he said is true?
Do you know how freaky
I
that is?
I
That
think
we have
about that
first-hand
sometime.
account, and it's all like he had it right, and he's telling us the truth.
That
I mean, that guy
even
is, dude.
even our
It's so
medium friend and
natural.
her
It's
stories
so
of the lizard
natural
people
out of him.
stalking her. Like, is it could it
I
be?
don't know about those stories, so
And even our other friend with the Bigfoot. You remember the Bigfoot guy that totally didn't like you, Luis, because you
oh god,
questioned his
he
pictures.
because he's hallucinating. He's
Like, I
pareidolia
like to
on
give everybody the benefit of the
steroids.
doubt because I believe there's things out there that are unexplainable.
That
Like
is
I've
accurate.
seen
I believe he'll
lights
look.
that don't make sense and things come out of the ocean that doesn't
I
make sense. I've
believe.
heard
I
screams in the
believe.
mountains that don't sound animal.
I
Like,
believe in creatures that we
there's
don't
things
know
out
any
here that
of.
are unexplainable, and this is what brings me
Yes.
back to, as advanced as we think we are, we
We
don't know
discover new
squat.
species
Like,
all the time. We discover new
a
species all
lot
the
of the
time.
things we have today would totally be magic, back in medieval times, sure, but like at the same time, there's things that are just completely unexplainable and are real occurrences, like skinwalkers and stuff like that. Like, these are real things, man. I believe. Maybe you will too. Luis, or not Luis, Neptune. Any good thoughts or feelings on 200 episodes, man?
No, I don't think so, man. Not for me, anyways.
Is everybody there?
I appreciate it.
I
Do you
don't hear
know
you.
something?
Hello,
You don't hear Neptune?
Neptune's sound has gone way low.
hello,
I hear
hello.
you fine.
Does anybody hear me? Can anybody hear each other?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
Once
you.
again, it seems to be having some kind of technical difficulties, and I can't
But
explain it.
we don't hear it on our
Everybody's
end.
turned up to 100, but I can't hear either of you. Not Luis nor Neptune. You've both
Okay.
vanished on me,
Oh,
sound
But
wise.
we're here. You're
yeah,
here.
yep. I can hear you just
Everything's
fine, Jimmy.
Oh,
perfectly.
you just came back. I don't know what it was.
That is
A
again
fluke.
handler. So what is this handler's background? Like
Larry, it's Larry, bro. Make us a background in his thing. I know he's probably a tortured soul that is going to need tons of therapy.
Yeah, no
Larry,
doubt.
you think? Well, I guess he works already for the
Yeah,
DoD doing this
yeah.
crazy
Larry, the
job of
FBI guy.
listen to us. Or how much do you think they just let the AI listen to us and then they're like, did he say anything that's close to reality? What
Well,
happens if we once hit the jackpot on something so hard and that's how we all got screwed? Well, which one was it?
Right?
Which
it
one did
was
we hit the mark?
Yeah,
might
I
no,
always wonder about that. Which
might
yeah.
what do we
might
do to get censored?
might be talking about the Frankists or Halliburton
Well,
or
why don't one of
slavery.
those episodes get shut down? Oh, they were.
Yeah.
The only thing, dude, the Sabadian Frankist, that we hit that spot on, that would be hilarious. Out of all the
Right?
things,
Out of
Sabadian
all the
Frankist.
Yeah.
things.
And nobody talks about the Sabadian Frankist yet. I'm like, they could be the cult.
I mean, they call them Zionists now, but like I think they're tied
You
back to
think
the
the
same thing.
Sabadian Frankists are Zionist?
I think the Sabadian Frankists are the Zionists.
I mean, you mean the true Zionists, not the stupid people on the street that say, like, people that support Israel, not simply Zionist. Like, it's a
No,
complicated thing. It's a very
sure.
complicated thing, and a lot of people get called Zionist, and they're not. So, I'll say
I
about
think
this is that people call themselves 100 different things. It's not true 90%
sure,
of it.
sure, but I think that the Sabbatean Frankists that we've talked about in the past, that became Jesuits, that became the Baptist, that became many other things moving forward after the Sabbatean Frankists went their separate ways, are totally the people running Hollywood. I have this really interesting video that I can link it to you guys. I linked it in the chat the other day, but it's an 8 minute and a 52-second video. I'm not going to play it on here, but it's just to show you all of the interesting characters that have changed their names to hide in broad daylight from who they really are, which is something the Frankists were really good at. They were good at pretending being something that they weren't. You know what I mean? And and they did a really good job at hiding. Yeah, I'll send it back over. They did a really good job at hiding in plain sight back then, and I think they're still hiding in plain sight today because, like, that's what they were good at, and they have their twisted backwards way of thinking and stuff. And it's funny how a lot of these same peoples in this video that I'm going to send back to you, Luis, um, are also kind of like big important names, whether it be political or in Hollywood or whatever. Like, it's just awfully interesting that many people are hiding in plain sight. And again, the video itself probably will seem slightly uh anti-Semitic, I guess you could say, but it's not the basis I'm looking at it in, Luis. The basis I'm looking at it in is the frankest aspect of things, of the hiding in plain sight and that whole thing. You guys can go back and check that episode out. It's actually kind of two parts in a way, and there's a whole bunch of stuff I wish I had on video in that conversation that never actually made it because it was just us talking. And like I've done a lot of
We
research
spoke
myself
for
after that.
we
We
spoke for
spoke for
like
5 hours, like 5-6 hours.
no 7.
Yeah, I mean the prior to the show and then afterwards until almost like
How
3 in the
was
morning.
he doing? What? Where can you not find? What was his TikTok?
I've messaged him a couple times and he's doing his own podcast now. It's working out for him, and
But what was his channel name, if you remember?
he's changed the name again now. He's I'll have to pull it
For
up
the
on my
reason I
TikTok
can't track it. I've seen
probably.
some of his stuff. It's brilliant, and I've seen other people that read that old stuff all the time, and I'm like, his book collection is
Is I would just I
impressive.
would be lost in that book collection, bro. Like I'd love to be in that book
People
collection.
have random books. He has like, I have the only copies of XYZ, and then these. Yeah,
Right?
at least he has at least what is it called? Like as much of a facsimile of the past as he can achieve to get.
His current well, his current screen name for some reason in the message chat area is US CEO of TikTok USA. But the Gnostic Pope is what he changed his name to as of like on TikTok recently. Good dude, smart dude, intelligent dude. He had great conversations with him, and he gives you a different perspective on a lot of things.
Oh no, that's his name. The agnostic the CEO of
The
TikTok
Gnostic Pope,
USA.
yeah,
Hilarious.
it it is. But he's always he's a good dude, and we had good conversations with him, and I appreciated the information that he shared with us and stuff like that, as well as all the other people we've had on the show. Again, if this is your first time or if you picked up late, no matter where you picked up, there is over 200 episodes at your fingertips to go back and check out, whether it be on Rumble, Odyssey. There's some a lot of the old episodes are on BitChute up until we started going live. Of course, as well as wherever you listen to us across all of those things. They got rid of Google Podcasts and now we are on YouTube Music instead, which I think is pretty cool. I got a strike from an episode that I already got a strike from once before on
Which one?
YouTube. Like, I'll have to pull up the number. I want to say it was like 143 or 140 something.
What do you think we talked about? What did it say?
It said we were giving medical misinformation.
Oh, so what are the COVID episodes?
So I had to take I had to take a reevaluation assessment where if I didn't click the right answer, it would tell me I clicked the wrong answer so that I could click the right answer and learn my lesson and not have my account locked.
Wait, so you had to take an education course? What was the education about?
About what's proper etiquette when talking about medical information on YouTube.
Wait, you got to say more.
Like they made me answer questions on if me or you could talk about medical information. No, because we're not professionals. So we're not supposed to speak on it.
So, the Robert Malone episode, we can publish it because he's a medical professional?
Yes. And I want to, because isn't he banned from YouTube?
Do it.
I'm thinking about it just cause, like,
I mean,
but yeah. So
our episode wasn't even that controversial.
I don't think so. And he dressed as a pirate. If you guys ever want to see something really fun, Robert Malone was a pirate with us while we were pirating around the way that we do.
I love that he had the like. It's like, you know what? Why not? Because he also did something crazy with a few other people in another show. So
Yeah,
he was like, oh, I like playing around, like the games, like the. And it's fun because everything is a parody, and speaking in parody is much easier than speaking in objective stances. But because everything's a parody, life is a joke, and everything we just said today is all like in satire. If you think anything we're
100%.
saying is real, you are mistaken. We are just acting. This is all an act. This is all just our terrible acting. Our writers are Darian Starr, and Sigourney Weaver.
All right.
Those are our writers. We had to show them the script writers one day, Jimbob. We had to show them the script writers.
Oh my god.
That's
That would be
what
great.
you got for episode 200. You just got the script writers of the show. Maybe one day that joke
Maybe
will
one day.
exist on the internet.
Hey?
And
I mean, you
as
never know.
ChatGPT ingest my words into its belly in the next 24 hours. Our information gets absorbed into the stomach of the machine to be digested into more thought.
Well,
Then censored.
again, I thank you guys for joining me this evening. I do thank Ox and Bandit for joining us for the 200th episode, even though they bailed. Of course, there will be more in the weeks to come. We plan on continuing getting together and talking about nonsense and letting you guys peer into our twisted reality of Metal Gear Solid, or however you want to view it. I totally think we've ended up in that reality one way or the other, whether it be from particle accelerators or black holes or who knows what. Maybe some witch said the wrong spell and transferred us to another completely other dimension. So, but again, I thank you, and I thank all of you for tuning in. And of course, you guys know I can't leave you without something just absolutely ridiculous. So, why is a threesome with Thai girls like winning the lottery?
I got nothing.
Because there's 6 matching sets of balls. Good night, everyone.